bias stuff. Using, we talked about national, even your local heroes and role models to actually stand up in the class and meet the children. I think that's very effective as well. But it also goes back to the professionals that are working with the language that they're using, even visuals in books, girls playing football, rugby, etc. It goes right back, and I think from a very young age as well. I think I'd even say from nursery, if I'm honest, as if a girl picks up the ball, there's nothing wrong with that. That's absolutely fine.
Great. We'll take another question if we could, because time is ticking on. Any more questions out there? We can throw the microphone. There's one over there on to your right there. If we could chuck the microphone over there, that'd be great. Oh, very conservative passing along there. That's better. There we go. Oh, we've got it. Yes, if you could introduce yourself and give us your question, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, my name's Sally Church. I'm CEO of Chwaraeon Leisure Trust, and my question's for you.
Wow. Scared already.
The reason being, media coverage of women's sport is extremely poor. And I think unless we talk about role models and unless that improves, something's got to change dramatically. So I ask you as representative of the media, what are you going to do about it?
Wow. Well, give him a diplomatic answer here. I agree with you. And I think, do you know what? I think there is a sense actually that increasingly in the people who do run the sports departments at BBC that is right, and there is I think a serious commitment to trying to make sure that women's sport does have its rightful place. Sadly, unfortunately these days I'm not making that decision myself, but I agree with you. I think that's certainly a very, very active conversation that's happening. I'm involved at BBC Wales quite a lot in terms of making sure that all our coverage is diverse and genuinely represents the population as it is, and that our sports coverage does that too. I think inevitably, the main sports, football, rugby, have dominated for a long time, and that certainly skews things. And I think therefore there is a sort of an automatic kind of, I think there's a built-in long-term bias towards those sports, which is difficult to shift. But I think that conversation is certainly going on, and Barbara Slater, head of BBC Sport, certainly is pushing that very hard. And I know from my own experience within BBC Wales, certainly actually the BBC Wales Sport Department, they are perhaps one of the most proactive departments in making sure that kind of sports coverage is much more diverse, even looking at kind of the makeups of panels and representatives on sort of mainstream sport shows, but also making sure that it's not just Scrum 5 on a Friday night, but it is the Cardiff Half and it is other sports, so that they are diversifying the mix to make sure that actually there is a much broader range. But that's a great challenge. I'll take it back, I promise you. I'll feed it back, but thank you very much for making that point. Go on, Susie's going to chip in and hammer me now.
I do think, though, it's also down to us as females in sport and our communities, our clubs, to also present our good news, our practice. We've got a fantastic opportunity at the moment with social media, so Twitter, Instagram, and selling what we're really doing, the fantastic good news stories across schools, communities out there with the elite. That's, I think, that we can't wait for the media. We have to present ourselves as well and almost make it difficult for you not to come and obviously give us coverage. And we'll look forward to seeing you at the Celtic Dragons season ahead.
Oh, well, thank you. We've got about 5 more minutes, I think, before the minister joins us. So can we thank you, Sally, for your question. Anyone else got a question? This side of the room, we've got a few people over here. So yeah, let's chuck it. Can we pass it on? Oh,
question.
You can, of course you can. Of course you can. It's in your hands, like pass the parcel. You go for it.
It's just a comment.
Yes.
I'm Amal from Women Connect First. We're a charity for ethnic minority women, and I would like Sports Wales to be more involved with organizations like us, because we reach the community. You haven't been involved really equally with ethnic minority women, mainly the older people. And I'd like to see more older people involved with you, please.
Great. Thank you very much. And that's a conversation I'm sure can now happen even this lunchtime. I know Sarah and others will definitely come over and say hello. So thank you very much indeed. That's a great point. So we have questions over this. I want to give this side of the room a chance. If we can, here it comes. Whoa. 2 hands on the ball, please. Carry it in both hands. Standard practice for passing. Yeah, good, excellent. Oh, it's Richard. Richard, come on then, Richard.
Good morning, guys. My name is Richard Parks. I'm a Sport Wales board member, also an ambassador to Wales's Year of Adventure. My question is twofold, I guess. The first point is I'd like to reiterate and lead on from Susie's point. I think we as individuals have to be the people that make change. If we condone something, we just perpetuate it, and that's guys as well as girls. I'm particularly proud of my recent series where the contributors, the people, the inspirational people that I met on the journeys were almost 50% women, and we proactively pushed for that, because there are a lot of really awesome people out there, awesome girls, and women that are doing really cool things. It's up to us to shout about them as much as we do about the guys. The question I want to ask is, I'm really passionate about using the natural resources, the outdoors, as part of how we facilitate more people living active lifestyles. And I wanted to ask the panel if there were any unique challenges to engaging women and girls in the outdoors, please. Thank you.
Who wants to take this? Sama, what do you think? What are the challenges of getting people out and about into the great outdoors?
Unique challenges for girls. Challenges that are unique for girls, well, speaking from my own experience, I really enjoy actually the fact that we have so much choice around, that we can, say for example you wanted to go out for a run, you have so much choice out there. You don't actually need to go onto a treadmill or go into a gym. You can go onto the Taff Trail, the Ely Trail. There's so much around, and I'm not just talking about Cardiff. Wales is immense. Personally, I don't think that there's anything that would stop me as a woman that wouldn't apply to men, but I think others might have a different opinion. You know.
I think on the unique, I think it all comes down to the people involved. So I think the biggest barrier or stopping is actually, if you haven't got that, it comes back to the role model nature, or somebody who you can either relate to or actually encourages you to go out there. I thought one of the challenges when I started, I thought the issue would be around changing rooms in rugby clubs, and I know it's an indoor space. I thought, God, that must be putting girls off. Actually, it was so far low on their priority. They will, sort themselves out, get ready after a game, anywhere, small space, as long as they've got a mirror, plug point, they're fine. And it's true, and I was hung up on the fact that, we need straighteners, we need mirrors and change rooms. Actually, they just really don't care. It's about that point that I said at the beginning, that first welcome, the coach who's leading them, the team manager who's inspiring them, who's the attached person who's encouraging them just to have a chat before training, make sure they're okay, and that feeling of welcome. And I think it's the same across any environment, whether it's an indoor sport, outdoor swimming, leisure centre, going up Pen y Fan. It's about what's making them choose that experience, and then what's making them keep attached to that experience and feel that loyalty. And we're very fortunate in rugby that loyalty factor is just phenomenal. Once they're involved, they're pretty much staying involved and want to be a part of that.
Jess, I'm going to give the last word. We sadly are out of time. I'm sorry if you had questions waiting to go. I think we are going to have to move on. But Jess, last word to you.
Just really quickly, on that note, in terms of kind of barriers to outside, I think obviously you've got the elements. That's a huge one. But when we're taking into consideration the girls, the disengaged girls that we're working with, they might not necessarily within their local communities want to kind of be on show as trying something, people seeing what they're doing. First of all, it can be quite private for them, whether it be in a small hall somewhere or, so I think that could also be, when you're thinking of the group that you're working with, if they're not engaging at all, being outside. I think one of our projects actually tried bringing a session outside, and actually participation did drop because they felt quite uncomfortable with people walking past, watching them taking part. So that, it's all different things.
Well, thank you very much indeed. Sadly, time has beaten us. Please do keep the conversation going on Dupol and also on Twitter. That would be really fantastic. But can we just thank the panel, to Caroline, to Jess, to Susie and Samar. Thank you very much indeed for your contributions today. Thank you. Now, without further ado, I just want to say thank you again very much for a really great session. I'm sure that sparked a few thoughts with you, and please do make sure you continue those conversations, and I'm sure they'll happen over lunch in a few minutes' time. But now we move on to our second keynote of the day, and it's my great pleasure to welcome Rebecca Evans, AM, Minister for Social Services and Public Health. Now, Rebecca Evans was first elected to the National Assembly for Wales in May 2011 to represent Mid and West Wales region. And in 2016, she became the Assembly member for Gower. Now, Rebecca received a degree in history from the University of Leeds and attended Sydney Sussex College in Cambridge, where she received a Master of Philosophy degree. And before being elected, Rebecca worked in the third sector. Big build-up. Rebecca has served on the National Assembly for Wales Environment and Sustainable Development Committee and its Common Agricultural Policy Task and Finish Group. She's also served on the Health and Social Care Committee and the Children, Young People and Education Committee. In 2014, Rebecca was appointed Deputy Minister for Farming and Food, and then in May 2016 this year, she became Minister for Social Services and Public